Hi, everybody. I'm Bob Schneider. Welcome to the Song Club.
I knew it was a bad idea to meet you here, my dear. 'Cause now that you've done it, my heart.
All right, here we are. Once again in the Song Club. I'm looking like Pitbull pretty much, if Pitbull actually had some hair. Dude, if Pitbull had hair like mine, really no telling how big that guy would be. I mean, he's pretty big now. What, he's got like 45 billion views on YouTube. But if he had hair like mine, oh boy. I mean, 300 billion? Half a trill? I mean, they'd be like, instead of calling him Pitbull, they'd be calling him Tripbull. For them trillion views. Anyways, welcome everybody. It's 2022, May 2022, the Song Club, number 62. Everything's rhyming today, which is always a good sign. When you're a songwriter and you wake up and everything's rhyming, then it's going to be a good day pretty much. Because then everything's easy. If nothing's rhyming and you're a songwriter, then you know it's going to be tough. But if everything's rhyming, boy, you might as well just hit record and let the hit making commence. Or at least the rhyming commence. I do think some people think that if you just rhyme, then success. Well, made a good song today. How do you know? It all rhymed. Huh. That's cool. Uh-oh. The po-po in the house. Oh, it stopped rhyming. That's the problem with rhyming. Like, it can start, and then just as easily as everything was rhyming at first, then it's not rhyming anymore. So, I got these, I got these Elvis glasses, but I like to, I mean, that's so 1970s now. And I'm pretty hip. So, that's why I like to say, oh, I got my Pitbull shades, because I'm more current. Is Pitbull the most current dude in music? Yeah. So that's why I like to keep it super current. Because he's the most current. Well, I don't know what to talk about this month, so I'm just going to get right into the songs, because that's where the meat is. Like, sometimes I like to hang out around the bone area. Oh, damn, Zip. Nibbling on the bones. But today, you know what? Just to try something different, I'm going to get right into the meat of it, which is the songwriting. That's why we're here. It's the Song Club. It's not Bob Schneider's. You know, what, something besides Song Club. Bob Schneider's Fill in the Blank Club. It's the Song Club. And I have a song game that I've been doing for almost 300 years now, in different forms or other, one or the other. And no, actually for about 20 years, if I'm going to be super honest. I mean, I've been honest for the most part for most of these podcasts, for most of these song clubs. But I think I'm just going to be super honest from now on. Now, some people will be like, well, if you're honest, you're telling the truth. What's super honest? Super honest is when you're telling the truth, but you're also being, like, really super. So, that's what I'm going to do. Now, is that going to cost you guys anything? I mean, it's going to cost you a bad time. In other words, the bad times that you thought you were going to have, they ain't going to happen. Because you'll just be having a good time. So yeah, it's going to cost you that. All your bad times. But I think that's a small price to pay for me being super honest. And then you still got your good times. Got all your good times, your great times, your wonderful times, your amazing times. That times you was in Hollywood. You got all those times. Remember that times when I was in Hollywood? You got those times. Remember that times we were traveling cross country in a carnival? Sideshow, locked up in a cage. Remember them times when we were trying to outrun them bullets from them guns that were being held by dudes that were squeezing the triggers over and over and over again? You got all those times, so that's good. Look, the only times I'm taking from you is the bad times. Nobody wants those anyways. It's not like one person's bad times is another person's good times. Unless you're an evil dictator, I guess. But I mean, if you're an evil dictator, do I really want you listening to my podcast? Probably not. I prefer non-evil dictating song club aficionados. Damn, I'm using that French/Italian. Every once in a while, I like to get fluent in a different language. But not for a long time, just for like a word. I feel like that's the perfect amount of time to get fluent. Because if you get fluent for like a week, good luck. First of all, that's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to do it for a sentence, let alone for a whole week. So I like to just do it for one word and then get right back into English. I feel pretty comfortable with my English. English for me is like an old coat, you know, that a crow's been living in for a long time, so it's got all that extra crow warmth. By the way, life hack. You're getting a lot in this song club, by the way. You're really, I'm squeezing a lot of shit into this thing this month. It's only because I care. But here's a life hack. If you want to wake up in the morning and put on your coat and just feel like you are on Mount Titty and the milk's moist, keep a crow in your jacket, like a live, trained crow. Keep it in your jacket, and then when you about to walk out the door, fuck that R on that door. By the way, hey man, you're supposed to put an R at the end. It's door, not dough. Yeah, fuck you are. When you about to walk out the door and you got that jacket with the crow, oh no. And we're back to rhyming, so we're back to having a good time. We're back to having a good day. And, you know, that's kind of a good segue for my first song this month. I also want to thank everybody on Patreon. Thank you for your support on Patreon. It doesn't mean the world to me. It means that I get to keep living in this house, which is nice. It means that my daughter can eat another Chick-fil-A sandwich. So I appreciate it. I really do. And if you aren't on Patreon and you want to be because you want to be able to download these songs and then listen to them whenever you want and share them with your friends or whatever people do with songs nowadays, you can go to patreon.com/Bob Schneider and join the day. And we'd love to have you. We'd love to have you in our little club, the Song Club. We're not one of those clubs where we're like, hey man, you can't join. Why not? Because, well, we don't like the look of you, or we don't like the fact that you don't have a crow in your jacket. We're not that kind of organization. We are here for everyone. I mean, except for evil dictators, maybe. But even, look, this is how cool we are at the Song Club. We'll even take a damn evil dictator. Because sometimes you've been an evil dictator for a minute and you're like, you know what? I want to try to do something diff. I want to become a benign, like Scrooge. You know, at the end of Christmas Carol, everybody was like, hey man, you're cool. You're cool, dude. Maybe put on some pants, but you're cool. We're cool. So that's the way we are. We're like basically Bob Schneider's Song Club. Oh, damn, I'm using my own name, which is, you know, I learned it on Sports Center. Basically, the Song Club is like the very last few minutes of Christmas Carol where everybody's cool and the main character doesn't have any pants on. So that's what we're like here. So yeah, come join us. Easy. All right, so let's start with this first song. This is a song I wrote a week ago. It's called The Good Times. Just like we're having now. Here it is. Alrighty, that's a pretty good start. Pretty good.
You broke the sun right off into the sea. Yeah, you did, I guess, somehow. But it's okay. The world's still spinning round. We're having a good time now. Take what you find, turn it into something new before all the time runs out. Now that you're taking all the old pictures down, we're having a good time now.
Yeah, after you've taken all them old pictures down. Now we're having a good time now that we've taken the pictures down. But I will say this, taking the old pictures down, pretty sad. Now, I've got pictures up now. I feel like if the only time you really should put up pictures is if you're married. I do think putting up pictures of the person that you're dating should only happen after you're married. Even then, it's sketchy at best. Because if you're if you're just dating and then you're putting up pictures, first of all, if you're dating and you put up the person you're dating's picture, uh-oh. 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 I did talked to a fan last night who was a very nice man. Man. Young man. There we go. Let me use that. Young man. I was gonna say boy man, but I was like, that doesn't sound good. Because he was a man, but he was like a young man. So young man actually is probably a better way of describing him than boy man or baby man. Which would be even a younger sort of like, like there are baby men. Trying to think who would be a baby man. Maybe like Carlos Santana. Because even though he's like 93 or something, he's in his early 90s. But in his heart, he's like 2.5 years old. So he's like a baby man. That's why he can play so good. Because he's got little baby fingers. And when you've got tiny fingers, it's like, have you ever tried to pick a Skittle out of a crack in the curb? If you've got a little baby hand, easy. It's real easy. If you've got a big man hand like I do, I've got one man hand and then I've got one, I'd call it a wolf hand. So it's kind of like a man hand, but it's slightly skinnier and silkier. And the problem with a wolf hand and picking up a Skittle out of a curb crack, it'll slip right out. Like I'll be like, oh, I got it. And then I'll bring it up to the mouth area. And then by the time it gets there, I'll look in my little wolf hand and it's like, oh, there's nothing there now except for, one of the multiple rings that I've ordered on Amazon. But no Skittle. And then I'm like, where did it go? And I look, it's not in the curb crack. Where did it go? Oh, it bounced down the lane. Ne'er to be seen again. Oh, no, there it is. Saw it. But, I mean, at that point, how interested am I in that Skittle? Not much interest. So that was one of the songs from this month's song game. How does the song game work? Maybe this is your first time listening to the Song Club and you're like, I don't know how it works. Well, I'll tell you. So I come, it's usually me, but sometimes I'll ask the group if they've got a phrase suggestion, but I'll come up with a phrase and then I'll send it to the group via email, and then they'll write a song that week using the phrase somewhere in the song. Do I know what the song phrase was for Good Times? Could have been Good Times. I don't know. So that's how it works. Let's listen to another new song. This one's called Okay. Lately, I've been doing the thing where if somebody's talking to me and they'll say something, and then here, what I used to do is I used to just like listen to what they were saying, and then I would process it and then file it away. But I wouldn't say anything. I would just do that. I would do all that silently, like a computer, like an assassin kind of. But then the other person would be like, "Hey, man," and the other person is my wife, of course. The other person would be like, "Hey, why are you not listening?" And I'd be like, "No, I am listening. I heard everything you said, processed it, put it to bed, tucked it in, sleeping soundly in my brain somewhere." And they're like, "Well, it feels like you're not listening." So it's like, okay, well, what I can do then when somebody says something. So let's say somebody said, here's an example of me sitting there being a human being, and then another human being, my wife, says something to me. So she'll say something like, "Hey, Bob, blah," blah, 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 blah. And then I'm like, and so I've heard all those words, nouns and adjectives and stuff. And then to let her know that everything's been heard correctly. Was that last word blah or blah? Oh, it was blah. Okay, I heard it correctly. And then to let her know that ya boy, B to the Schnee to the D to the E, the Schneeds, to let her know, or them, or whoever know, that I was listening. I just go, okay. Because, I mean, I could just say, okay, but I like using all the okays. It makes me feel good. It makes them feel good. It makes everybody feel good. So I wrote a song called Okay, and then I used that phrase, okay, in the song, because sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes I'll take some real shit and write about it, like kind of like a gangster, kind of like 50 Cent did when he wrote "Get Rich or Die Trying." It's gangster adjacent to that. All right, let's listen to it. Here it is. It's that new jam from this month called "Okay." Oh, well, that was horrible. I don't know why it was. Why did it sound like that? Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can find a version of it where it's not doing that. Because that was terrible. Let's try this one. Well, that's loud. That's better.
Got a little lost in the lamps. I saw your face, I got the cramps. Now I got a case of the damps. I might need a new set of pants. Okay. It's harder than it looks sometimes. Trying to find the right word to rhyme. But everything I do so blind. I'm dropping beats like I spill wine. Yeah.
Okay.
Two half circles make a ball. I won't come unless you call. I got a pop shop.
All right, so I do know what the phrase was for that week because the phrase was half circle. So, by the way, half circle is a phrase is so hard. It's hard to use that in a song. I thought half circle is kind of cool. I've never heard that before. And I was like, that'll be cool. And then it was so hard. But then I came up with the phrase, two half circles make a ball. And for a minute there, I thought to myself, man, you're pretty cool, dude. And then the second faded, and then this other voice was like, dude, you suck. And then no other voices. And I was like, where's that dude, your cool guy go? Can that guy come back? Nope. Not until you write another song. And then I guess when you write another song, that guy will come and go, hey man, you're cool. And then literally within 4 or 5 seconds, the other guy, man, you suck. I don't know why I did this, but I went online and I was like, I wonder if the guy from Talk Talk's still alive. Because I saw those guys in 80-something, maybe 82, at Rock am Ring, which is a giant sort of like the German Coachella. They do it at a big German speedway. And it's whatever the really hot groups are at the time. So the year that I went, Talk Talk was one of the groups. The Cure, James Taylor, Simply Red. The headliner was that though. I can't think of him. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But probably the band I was most excited to see was Talk Talk, and they were cool. They had two percussionists in the very front of the stage on both sides of the stage, and they were playing like congas and percussion instruments the whole time. So that was cool. Then they had a drummer, and then the lead singer would kind of sit at a piano and hammer out some notes on the piano. And then when he wasn't there, he would sit on the side of the stage on a chair, and he would just be sitting there, and he had this kind of long hair that was in his face, and he was just kind of had his head down. And he just was drinking a can of Heineken. And I was just like, that guy does not seem to give a fuck. He also seems to be fucking like, how much longer is this motherfucker gonna live? Because he does not seem to be having a good time. Now he's singing Life Is What You Make It, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. So I was just thinking about that. Again, I've seen a few concerts. I've never seen anybody like not give a fuck that hard, where they're just sitting on a chair on the side of the stage drinking a Heineken with their... I've seen Kurt Cobain on MTV Unplugged where he seemingly does not give a shit, but at least he's like facing the camera. At least he's sitting there. He's not like leaving the stage and going off to the side of the stage and drinking a can of Heineken and putting his hair in his face, which is what this guy was doing most of the show. Unless he was sitting at the piano, or he would come up and sing a song every once in a while, or, say something into the mic. I think they're called lyrics. It was pretty amazing. So I was like, well, let me look that guy up and see if that guy's still alive. Because I'd like to find out what he's doing now. If he's still around, if he's touring. Because I find it kind of fascinating. And turns out he died in 2019. And he was pretty young. I think he was like in his early 60s or something. And that's the end of that guy. So it didn't shock me that guy was dead, but it kind of bummed me out a little bit. But yeah, I guess that's what happens if you hang out on the earth long enough. People that you know or have heard of, they're all gonna die. Yay, Song Club 62. We tell it like it is. All right, so those were two songs. I've got a third song for this month. I should probably have 4, but I only wrote 3. I skipped a week, which happens every once in a while. Which is fine. It's good to skip a week. It's like school. Just don't do it all the time, but every once in a while it's good to skip school. So this last song is called The Same Thing. This is probably my favorite song of the month. Even though that Good Time song sounded pretty damn juicy and creamy. But I kind of like this one. I've been playing it live, and it's fun to play live. So let's check it out. It's called The Same Thing.
He put all his love in a bottle, threw it in the ocean, got on his bike, rode off into the sun. She gave her love to the dog, she loved how they loved her. It wasn't complicated, they loved her like their mom. If you're asking, my favorite color's blue, but I don't really have one. How about you? So I'll tell you what I think is true, and if you wanna, you can do the same thing too.
Oh shit. I think I coughed up a biscuit.
Superman got a brand new cape. Took out to the city and started to vape. Had himself some fun. Wonder Woman, she came along, fresh from out the Amazon. You could say she came on super strong. If you're asking my favorite numbers too, but yeah, I really don't have one. How about you?
Yeah, if you're asking, my favorite color's blue, but I really don't have one. How about you? I've got a 7-year-old daughter, so one of her questions that she every once in a while will pop. She'll pop one of them questions at her daddy. Daddy, what's your favorite color? And then you just got to make up something because I guess some people do have a favorite color, but I definitely don't have a favorite color. So I just say blue. I just say blue. The same way when somebody asks you, how are you doing? You say, okay, or fine, or whatever. It's not how you're doing. You're not doing okay or fine. It's more complicated than that. Same with colors. It's more complicated. But again, just to kind of not get too involved in a conversation with a 7-year-old, I just say blue. And then she's excited because she wants to tell me what her favorite color is. That's really what she's trying to do. When she even asks me what my favorite color is, she's just waiting to tell me what hers is. And she's so excited about it. And I'm like, man, why can't I be that excited about life? To be so excited because you want to share what your favorite color is with your dad. Man, that's some high point shit right there. Because when you're in your 30s or like late 30s, and when I say late, I'm in my late 30s, and when I say late, I mean the fire's out and the coals are cold, and the scout, he's like, yeah, it's been a minute since they were here. I'm not sure how long. Probably weeks. But yeah, when you're in that part of life, you don't get that excited about telling somebody what your favorite color is. That's for sure. So I miss that. Which is kind of a good segment for my next song. This is so the rest of these songs are songs that I wrote a while ago. I wrote this song called Hello to the Rain. And I don't know when I wrote it. Probably in the early aughts. And then I re-recorded it again in 2008. So I have the newer version, which is, 14 years old. How weird is it that 2008, that was 14 years ago? Because 2008 seems like it should have been about 4 years ago. But you got to add 10 years to that, son. Which is crazy. So yeah, so I wrote the first one 20 years ago, maybe? Somewhere in there. And then redid it. Now, the new version isn't that much different. But I'm going to, you know what? Because I'm cool, I guess. I'm going to post both of these on my Patreon. So instead of getting 8 songs this month, you'll get 9. 2 versions of this song called Hello to the Rain. So let's listen to the first one. This is the very first one. It's an interesting song. It's about a couple, a man and a woman, and kind of who they are. And maybe we can discuss it. Like we'll listen to it and then we'll discuss it by me talking about it. Here we go.
his own red shoes. His hair is shined up, his teeth so lazy they go right to bed. She sees right through him, he has on a see-through suit. She knows the difference, she has a nylon head. Hello, hello to the hello, hello to the hello, hello to the rain.
All right, so that's the original version, which is pretty cool. Like, nothing wrong with that version at all. So here's the newer version. Let's come in.
It's contradiction. He has a monkey. It's made of magic, but it's so heavy it causes friction. Hello, 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 hello to the rain. She has the plastic. He makes the money. The cars are gassed up. The kids forgot. She makes a big mistake. He says it's okay. They laugh and they cry. First cold and hot. Hello, 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 hello to the rain.
Hello to the rain. Hello. Hello. Hey. Are you talking to me? Yeah. Rain. Hello. I like that song. Those are the kind of songs that when I write them, I'm like, is that even a song? It is, by the way. The answer is yes. It's a song, and it's kind of a cool song. Now, I think when I wrote that, I was probably not that crazy about it, but now years later, looking back, and I'm like, oh, that's so random. There's not a line in that song that's not random. There's lots of rhymes that don't happen. Lots of possible rhymes that just never panned out, which is pretty cool. Like that's like wearing pajamas to school. I will say this. I think it's because of the pandemic, but I've noticed young people, teenagers, I'm just going to say they're teenage. I feel like they're all teenagers, the people that I've seen that I'm talking about in this next segment called people that I've seen doing something. And the thing I've seen these teenagers do is be out in public wearing their PJs. Now, I started noticing it pre-pandemic at the airport, where I noticed teenagers wearing basically their gym jams into the airport because they're going to get on a flight. They're holding a pillow. And when I say gym jams, I mean kind of like sweatpants, but not like, $180 Lululemon sweatpants, but like, a pair of sweatpants you might see Rocky wearing, but at the airport. Now then we went into the pandemic where people just stayed at home for a year and didn't go to school and stuff. And now those kids realized, hey, you know what? These gym jams are comf. I'm going to start wearing them out into the world because I don't know what happened. I think something happened where they were like, hey, either they just don't give a fuck, which is fine, or they forgot how to be a human being, which is also fine because it's hard to know and remember what it is or how to act to be a human being. I have a hard time with it. It's a lot of shit to memorize. But I've noticed it more and more where I'll just see somebody outside. I'm like, oh, they're wearing their gym jams. And that's a choice that they've made. Now, I will say this. I was on a plane one time, and somebody was flying me somewhere, so I was sitting in first class, because that's the only time I'm sitting in first class is when somebody else is paying for it, because I don't have that kind of extra jam. I don't have that kind of extra ketchup to put on my fucking sandwich. I'm sitting in the back with a dry bun. So I'm up there in first class. Now, let me explain to you what I'm wearing. I'm wearing some like Nike high tops with some socks. I'm wearing shorts. So you're seeing my hairy, exposed legs. And maybe a hoodie. So, and I'm a grown man. I'm a grown ass man wearing shorts, which is what children wear. And I get on this plane, not really thinking anything about it. It's kind of the way I was like going through life, just wearing whatever the fuck I wanted to wear. Kind of like these kids in their gym jams. And I get on the plane and I look at my seat. I'm like, oh, there's my seat. And sitting next to me on the plane is, I think his name is Tim Cook. Is that his name? Oh, I got to look it up. The guy from Project Runway. You probably already know what the guy's name is. Project Runway. Tim Gunn. So that guy, Tim Gunn, is sitting there next to me. Now, Tim Gunn, is he wearing shorts and Nikes and a hoodie? No, he looks just like he looks like on Project Runway. He's wearing a sky blue tailored suit. He's absolutely maybe has a half an extra pound off of his ideal body weight. He looks identical to the show. He's wearing this tailored suit. He's got a shirt. He's just sat down, so he's taking his jacket off and gives it to the first class person. Can you put that up there? And she puts it up above. And then he's sitting there. He's got his tray table out. He's got an iPad. And he's got a New York Times crossword puzzle. And he's, I sit down and he's like, hello. And I'm like, hello. And I don't want to bother. I recognize him immediately. He's friendly and nice, but he's not striking up a conversation as nobody does. What are you, a maniac, striking up a conversation with somebody? But he's nice. He says hello. And then, so we're sitting in first class, so there's food, and the lady's like, what do you want? And I'm like, what do you got? She's like, what do you want? I'm like, what do you got? And she's like, well, we got this, and we got this sort of small thing, and then we got this big thing. I'm like, give me the big thing. Give me all of it. And then she asks Tim Gunn, what do you want? And he says, I'll have a white wine. Now, this is 8 o'clock in the morning. Or 9 o'clock in the morning. And I'm about to eat a giant fucking stinky, greasy Mexican breakfast. It's not Mexican, though. I just wanted to say that. So now I'm sitting there. I think I got sunglasses on too. So I got sunglasses and a hoodie, exposed legs, shorts that a boy would wear, Nikes. And I just ordered a giant, gross, stinky ass breakfast. Because when you're on a plane and you order like hot food, it stinks. It smells like fried, greasy ass bullshit. So they bring that to me. Now, at this point, I'm basically feeling like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like, I'm feeling so awful. And I'm just like, this guy must think I'm just a gross piece of shit of a human being. And so then, to kind of complete the picture for him, and I guess for myself, I turn on the TV that's on the back of the seat, and I decide to watch a football game. So now I'm watching a football game. Anyways, I'm sneaking glances at Tim Gunn. He's sitting next to me, doing the New York Times crossword puzzle, and sipping, occasionally, taking the smallest sips you can take of a glass of wine. Not a cup of wine, but they like actually bring it in a wine glass because it's fucking first class, baby. And he is the most put together person I've ever seen in my life. Fucking class, son. He's got class. Fucking class, dude. And I just made a decision right then and there. I was like, man, I will never, ever, ever not look dapper again when I go out in public. And I changed my life. Now, have I been able to fulfill that promise? No, not at all. Still wear shorts, still look like bullshit. But for a while there, I really believed that I would be able to do that. And I wanted to thank Tim for it. I wanted to tell him, like, hey, man, I feel like the Hunchback of Notre Dame sitting next to you because you just look very well put together. But I never said another word to him. In the flight, I don't know, it was a long flight, probably like 3 hours. Never said another word to him, never bothered him. Never thanked him for changing my life, which he really didn't, because I have to change it. He can't change it for me. But yeah, that happened. And so sometimes when I'll see somebody who's like, looks like a completely, person who's let themselves go completely, I think, well, maybe they're just like me. Maybe they feel horrible. And maybe they're going to turn it around now that they've seen me. I ain't no Tim Gunn, son. All right, let's listen to another song. This is a song called High. Kind of says it all. It's pretty self-describing song. This one was probably written, it says I wrote it around 2011. Was that the preteens? Let's check it out. Yeah, I think I was like listening to Hot Chip. I don't know if you're familiar with that band, but they're pretty great. I think I must have been listening to Hot Chip around that time. And Hot Chip does this thing where they kind of whisper sing. And they also do a thing where they hard pan the vocals from on one side and the left. So I noticed it on that song. I kind of noticed it a little bit on Hello to the Rain. But for sure on that High song, that's some Hot Chip. That's me wanting to sound like Hot Chip for sure. But yeah, I like to get high. I like to get numb. But when I say high, I'm not talking about drugs. I'm just talking about like whatever. Like a good streaming show. Like Ted Lasso. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about mainlining some of that Lasso. So it's not really about drugs. Even I was never a big drug guy. I mean, drugs is like a lot of work. Drugs is like going on it's like camping. Like some people like camping. I'm like, fuck that, dude. I got a fucking house. I got a damn permanent structure and a sheets and a mattress. Camping? What? I'm gonna go set up a lean-to? Sleep on the ground? Fuck that. That's what drugs are. Now, I did like me some alcohol. Alcohol is like getting tucked into bed. I'm all about that. Tuck me in, son. But with them drugs, you're like, well, you're going camping. I'm not sure if I'm ready for a trip. Camping trip right now. Can I walk that back a little bit with the alcohol? And then you're like, oh, you're being tugged between camping and staying home. Anyways, so you do that a couple times. You're like, I'll just stay home and drink that PBR, baby. Let's do another song that's in the song club this week. It's called. It's another one with the word high in it. It's weird. I'm looking at these titles. They're all kind of connected. Weird. Anyways, this one's called How High the Water Is. And it's kind of a bluegrass jam. And I will say this. This is one of those songs, like when I wrote it, I was like, oh, this is the shit, son. I had a band at the time, the Texas Bluegrass Massacre, that was playing pretty regularly. And if you don't know what it is, the Texas Bluegrass Massacre was a group I put together of very, very talented traditional bluegrass instrument masters. So I had a mandolin player, I had a dobro player, a violinist, or fiddler, I guess we'd call it, accordion, and banjo. And basically we just play my songs, but with those instruments, so it kind of sounds like, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I was enjoying that, and it was kind of a party band, dance music and stuff, so it was fun. And when I wrote How High the Water Is, I'm like, oh, we'll be able to play this, and the crowd's going to go crazy, and it'll be great. But it's definitely one of those songs that as soon as I play it live, I was like, I don't know if this even works. And then I only played it a couple times. I hardly ever play this song. I've probably only played it live 2 or 3 times maybe. But let's check it out and see if we like it now that some time has passed. It's taking a minute for this thing to... Oh, shit, there it is.
Don't know how the water is. Don't know how the water is.
Oh, shit, we're having a damn hoedown up in this bitch.
I'll tell you if you tell me. I lay it out for the world to see. And let you go if you let me be. My heart is what I want you to see. Rising up from black to blue. I will if you will too. Oh, I won't if you don't want me to. You tell me and I'll tell you.
That song's about sex. I think that was some code. That was some like hetero code there about like, you want to have sex. I think that's really what that was. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, even though I wrote it. But listening to it, I'm like, yeah, that's your boy trying to do some dating. Because I think I was a single man around that time. That was pre this marriage and post the last one. So getting a little yawning in. I should have probably done that during the song. But, that's the way I do it. I was thinking about it today. I've done 62 of these song clubs. I've never edited one. I know some people listen to it and go, well, that's heavily edited because it's so good. The quality is such that, of course, it was edited. Like when you hear a podcast, it sounds like the guy's just blah, 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 blah. But they've edited out all the bullshit. With me, it's like, it's a filet mignon. What are you cutting out? You're just going to be cutting out steak. So, yeah, I don't edit it. I just put out the full meaty tip, as we call it in the biz. It's a professional term. Don't even worry about it. So, yeah, that's that song. Yeah, not much to it. Listening to it now, I'm like, yeah, there's a reason why I don't play that song. Not much to it. It's fine, though. It's cool. It's good to have in your collection. Some of these songs are for completists. You want to have that complete Bob Schneider song grab bag. So when you start your Bob Schneider internet radio show, You want to have all the songs to play, and then, so you want that one. Maybe you don't play it all the time. Maybe play it every once in a while. This next song is called "I Don't Mind," and basically, it should be called "I Absolutely Mind." But the song is a guy that's like, hey, I don't mind that I'm like heartbroken and feeling really shitty about our relationship that's ended. But he really does. And so I like that. I like those songs where they're saying one thing, but they mean the opposite of what they mean. So let's check it out. It's called I Don't Mind. This guy's talking about some shit that he definitely minds. Here we go. I don't mind. These old songs, there's like weird space at the beginning. It's kind of cool though, I guess. These new songs again got zippity dip space at the beginning because your boys, more on it.
But now that some time has passed since you went and kicked my motherfucking ass, and I don't feel bad all the time. Think about how you used to be mine. Hope that the chief and his crew, they give it all back to you. There's in the blanket and the dope and the ugly stuffed head and that antelope hanging on your wall. Cause I don't mind. I don't mind, no. I don't mind. I don't mind, no. Cause I don't mind. I just don't mind, no. I don't mind. I take your word for whatever you say. Even though your story's got more holes than 100 bowls of what you eating, nothing, honey nut Cheerios. And I hope that the time of your life is waiting right around the corner from now. In a stretched Lamborghini with some champagne in it. Lil Wayne singing I'm ill. Cause I don't mind. I don't mind, no. I don't mind.
That's me trying to sound like I don't give a shit. That's me trying to sound all gangster, even though I'm like a crying little baby. But it's pretty cool. I have to say, I like that idea of it. So yeah, that's called I Don't Mind. And that's pretty much it. I've got one more song called I'm So Glad to Be Alive. We'll get out of here with that song. That's a banger too. That song's about basically all it's like all the good stuff and all the bad stuff and all the in-between stuff. But then there's sort of this idea that like, I'm so glad to be alive. I got to have a open heart surgery. Oh, I'm so glad to be alive. Oh, my daughter's on a date with a damn drug addict. Oh, I'm so glad to be alive. Anyways, you get the idea. That's the song. But anyways, we're at the end. It's been another Song Club adventure. So I appreciate you guys joining me on this, little trip through the woods, through the song woods. Again, you can go to patreon.com/Bob Schneider. You can join today and you get all these songs and you get some other stuff too. But mainly it's these songs. And I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here with me, spending your time. It's a limited thing that you have. It's really the only thing you have is your time on the earth. So I appreciate you spending it with me. And it's a pleasure to spend it with you. And here we go. Let's get out of here with the song I'm So Glad to Be Alive. Because I am. I am glad to be alive. I really am. And yeah, it's the way I feel. Let's do it. Here we go.
Sit still, go to your room, nice job. Comb your hair, brush your teeth, put your pants on. Don't talk back to me, girlie, do the dishes, put your shoes on. Don't play with your food, that's none of your business. Be home by 7, get to bed, wash your hands, eat your food. What a big boy you are, she said, Mom, do what I tell you or you'll be sorry. You look so pretty in that new dress Swap your boots on the map, oh God, she's our little princess. Do your homework, great shot, show you spend the night, you're grinding for a week, are you on drugs, so you're alright. Bonnie's got a girlfriend, should hang out with the Jones kid, you'll never amount to nothing. Let me tell you what your mom did. I saw her making out of the party with the barmaid. Use protection, don't make the same mistake.